ambassador to court of St. James and big fundraiser for Hillary Clinton, is beside herself in grief and begging for forgiveness.
All right, and we wondered who might have some thoughts on this, and, well, we found Tomi Lahren. Tomi, thoughts on this, because it first blush, though, it was Vanity Fair finally sort of dishing it out even-handed.
And I gave them credit for that, actually, a couple of days ago on Hannity. I said, hey, good for them. They had a humor. They were able to poke fun at Hillary Clinton. And, of course, anytime you poke fun at Hillary Clinton, the leftist machine is going to come after you. But why are we apologizing to Hillary Clinton for anything? I will apologize to Hillary Clinton when she apologizes for compromising national security and classified information, lying about Benghazi, taking money from countries who torture women and gays, rigging the primary against Bernie Sanders, and just making women overall look bad. That's when I will apologize to Hillary Clinton. Until then, my goodness, Vanity Fair, get a backbone.
Well, Tomi, I think she's safe. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
You're true. Well, this is what Vanity Fair had to say, to your point. They said, quote, it was an attempt at humor, and we regret that it missed the mark. Who did it miss the mark with, Tomi?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. If you look at Twitter, it was melting over this. They can't even take a joke at this point. They can't even poke fun at Hillary Clinton. I think maybe even Hillary Clinton might have more of a sense of humor than some of her supporters, and that's really saying something.
Now,
it is.
It is.
Yeah, we saw that humor really come out on the trail.
So, Tomi, Hillary now tops the list of the most admired women in the world. By the way, this is like her 16th year in a row. That's right. I looked at the list. There's not one conservative woman on the list. What do you make of this?
Well, here's the deal. I think after 8 years of the Obama administration, Americans have been conditioned to appreciate losing and appreciate losers. So now we are still admiring losers, and Hillary Clinton is certainly a loser. But also keep in mind, the other women on this list include Beyonce, who is admired for grinding and thrusting on stage. So I don't know about this list. I don't know about the polling. I haven't trusted polls since November 8th of 2016. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know why we're still looking at polls when they say that Hillary had a 93% chance of winning.
That's true.
I don't know about the numbers.
This is Gallup, and they had she had 12% support last year. Now 9% of respondents for Hillary Clinton this year. So even though she's the most admired, it has dipped.
Well, and you said there was no conservatives on the list. I don't know if this qualifies as a conservative, but 1% of those surveyed named First Lady Melania Trump. Tomi, one thing that your videos have done is really brought to a forefront issues that may not be top of mind to everybody. Your take has sort of brought them up and allowed those stories to bubble up. What are your underreported stories of 2017 that you think, as we head into the new year, we need to look back on as important about President Trump's first year?
Oh, there are so many, and of course the leftist mainstream media will never cover them. But I think the main thing is understanding that under this president, in less than a year, we've got a tax break for 80% of Americans. That is monumental, and that's something that we're going to be remembering for years to come, and the middle class is going to be remembering for years to come, not just Republicans, but Americans in general. So I think that that is a big one. However, there are so many. I think historically, let's look at the president and his moves to recognize Jerusalem and recognize that as Israel's capital, move the embassy to Jerusalem. That is historic on its own. The 3 presidents before him promised to do it and failed to do it, but this president did it in less than a year. That is a testament to the strength of Donald Trump, and that's just going to continue on in 2018. I can't wait to see what we're going to do, but I can tell you this much: we're going to build that wall, because we're all waiting on the edge of our seats for that one.
Well, that's what Ned Ryan said in the previous segment. I mean, conservatives and Trump supporters, that's a big part of what he ran on. There's been a lot of obstruction in Washington to that, but ultimately, if he keeps focus on something like that, his folks are going to love that, and they believe it's crucial to keeping our country safe as well.
All right. Tomi, thank you very much. Happy New Year if we don't see you before.
Yes, Happy New Year, Tomi.
All right.
Thank
All
you,
the
guys.
best.
Kind of funny, right? Well, that was Vanity Fair begging Hillary Clinton to not run again. It happens. It's called comedy. And instead of running again, go quietly away. Now they're getting huge backlash for it, with subscribers angrily attacking them and even burning the magazine. President Trump is taking delight in the magazine's plight, tweeting today, by the way, they apologize quickly, Vanity Fair, which looks as if it's on its last legs, they laid off a bunch of people, is bending over backwards and apologizing for the minor hit they took at Crooked Hillary, Anna Wintour, who was all set to be ambassador to the court of St. James, and a big fundraiser for crooked Hillary, is beside herself in grief and begging for forgiveness. So the president getting involved. Ethan Bierman is a liberal radio host over in California and wants to rein in on this perspective. Ethan, do you side with Vanity Fair and their attempted comedy, or do you side with the Hillary supporters who are mad that they would try to bring up something funny about Hillary Clinton?
Well, I think there's a little bit of both going on there. First off, Vanity Fair, is light humor. This is what they do. This is their audience. Some of their audience was very upset. That's why they apologized. But look, Hillary Clinton supporters clearly have a right to still be upset. She won by 2.9 million votes in the popular vote. Furthermore, we have the grabber-in-chief. We have the Me Too movement happening. They have every right to be upset about it. But clearly the Democratic Party doesn't want her to run in 2020. We need to be looking for younger and more diverse members of the party to step forward here in 2020. I think Vanity Fair did the right thing issuing an apology. That's a smart business move by an American company.
But what did they do? They took a political figure and they did sarcastic comedy on it. You might not think it's funny, but it's free game. You have to admit, her husband, they went after him every night on late night. No one gets beaten up like President Trump on a regular basis. Why isn't she open season? After all, even though she sold a lot of books, the whining for 3 months is a source of comedy, usually.
Yeah, well, but here's the deal. Again, if you own a business, Brian, and your customers are mad at something that you just did, you do an easy apology. Of course Vanity Fair is going to apologize. They need to keep their subscriber base. By the way, the president was factually incorrect yet again today in his tweet. Vanity Fair is doing just fine. The latest numbers I saw was a 2% year-over-year increase, partially because of his attacks on them last year brought a lot of attention, and people added subscriptions in support of Hillary Clinton in opposition to President Trump. So I don't know why he's attacking them, because, well, his attacks didn't work. It gave them more business.
Well, Graydon Carter resigned from his post. He's been an enemy of the president. We do know they laid off a whole bunch of people last year, too. The magazine industry's taken a pounding. But my feeling is this. A magazine is supposed to have an opinion and stand for something. I don't really know Vanity Fair. It's not something I subscribe to or download. But I just think to apologize when you really didn't make a mistake or a spelling error is something. Do you see Stephen Colbert apologizing to President Trump because he's going over the top, or Alec Baldwin going out of his way to apologize for his over-the-top impression? The guy's selling a book that's, I believe, on the bestseller list that just mocks the president. A magazine takes some subtle swipes at Hillary Clinton, and the supporters go absolutely crazy. In fact, one of them, Sarah Jones, who is a writer for a liberal magazine called New Republic, observed that criticizing Hillary Clinton is a guarantee that you're going to get days of really vile abuse directed at you online, and it sucks, close quote. Really?
Look, you also, I mean, let's be clear here. You're picking out very specific people. Alec Baldwin is making money because of his impersonations of President Trump.
So he should apologize.
Of course, Vanity Fair apologizes. That's saving their subscriber base. It's called a smart business decision.
So it's not sincere.
Alec Baldwin should not apologize. So it's not sincere, their apologies. Why would he apologize?
So, Ethan, it is not sincere apology. It's just to save subscribers.
Not enough people understand how easy an apology is. More people in our society, including the president himself, should learn to apologize when you're wrong or you've done something to upset somebody else. It's so easy to make peace.
If you have a magazine that takes a position that offends people and you have to apologize, why do you have columnists? Why do you have opinion people? Ethan, in your opinion right now, you tick people off. Will you apologize? Do you feel compelled to apologize to people who don't agree with you and are ticked off listening to your opinion?
But these are totally different target audiences. Brian, you and I speak about things that are controversial. Vanity Fair doesn't so much, and because they did something that was satirical, light humor, but it offended a large number of their subscriber base, of course that is a smart business decision. We talk about it, President business here, President Trump, and we're talking about, business in America. He's attacking an American business. Why is he not focusing today on Russia, Turkey, and Iran forming an axis of evil in the Middle East instead of Vanity Fair?
Well, I know that's him, and that's what made him successful in business and